Hasn't he, Ken?
Well, exactly. You know, he doesn't give up. You know, that's what I love about Barry Hearn. That's why he's won so many of these. He doesn't give up. He had a few chips left. He knew the best spot to put him in. You know, not to be blinded out. He waited a couple hands till he had an ace, and boom.
You can never say never in poker, and Barry Hearn's not one to give up without a fight. He's clawing himself back into this one. Let's hear from our commentators Jesse May and Kenna James.
Well, it ain't over until the last chip is in the pot and moved. How about that push by Hearn?
Well, I like it. You know, he picked up the ace, went off the button. It figures to be the best hand. You know, he needed to make a move, and he did it. And he's given himself a chance to get right back into this match and win it. And believe me, he's got a good shot now.
What can Baza do from here? Let's get back to the table and find out.
Well, it feels so confident. Well, if anyone was super, I could have traded out of it for a lump.
So still 6 left. Thought we were down to 5 for a second there, Kenna. But Barry Hearn has put himself in a position where a double up would give him chip lead.
Yeah. You know, fortunes can quickly change in No Limit Hold'em, and you're seeing it right here in the case of Barry Hearn.
Blind on blind, Roy the Boy and Tony G. And Tony...
Roy Brindley has the Jack-8, and with the Rockets, Tony G.
It's the first time we've seen them tonight.
That's right.
And interestingly enough...
it's against Roy Brindley.
Yeah, I mean, Tony G's made a pretty big raise of 8,000 there. Roy's peeled off the flop, out of position.
Oh, my goodness. This is going to be trouble for Roy Brindley. He's flopped top pair.
This is pretty much the worst possible situation Roy could be in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it looks like he's looking to check raise Tony here.
Raise it up.
Re-raised.
Exactly what's happened. Bet by Tony G, raised by Roy. And has Roy got too many chips in here to get away from this hand?
Well, against Tony G, I'm probably going to say yes because, you know, it's hard. Tony G plays a psychological game, and nobody ever thinks he has a hand.
So Roy the Boy paying the penalty right now.
Absolutely. Well, you know, it's not as much as a penalty as it is an unfortunate series of events. You know, he's not way out of line against a player like Tony G taking a flop with the Jack-8, but when you flop top pair and your opponent has an overpair, you're asking for trouble.
This pot got so big, so fast, and Roy the Boy
had a tough decision here.
I think he's got about 40,000
You know,
there.
at this point, you have to think, okay, what can my opponent have? He has to beat a Jack. Unless the only hand he can really beat is a flush draw. If Tony G is bluffing, you know, on a 4 flush, you know, he can't think his Jack with no kicker is good here. If he thinks logically. So he's got to think that either Tony G is on a pure bluff or he's semi-bluffing with spades to make this call.
Roy counting out how much he has left if he folds. And do you think he has enough chips there, Kenna, to play his way out of it from
Absolutely. We saw Barry Hearn with no chips left come back. You know, certainly this is enough chips to get away from this hand. And especially if you think back and think logically in the hand, what can I beat?
Tough decision.
What can my opponent be raising me here that I can beat? It looks like to me he's staring at least overpair, if not 3 sevens. He should be able to get away from this hand. You know, especially a conservative player like Roy Brindley is, I'd be shocked if he calls this bet.
One thing Roy the Boy can do is make good decisions. Can he pull that folding trigger here?
He's got to deny that voice that's in his head that's saying he's bluffing me. You know, there's ego involved here. Now he's put on the clock, and the pressure of the clock has, you know, put him to the call. I am shocked here, Jesse, that he's made this call.
He has called, and the face from Roy the Boy saying, uh-oh, I'm in it. But there are 2 cards to come, and Roy does have outs.
Yes, he does. One of 2 jacks remaining, or one of 3 8s, which would make him 2 pair.
Just a little bit.
The winner of this pot is going to have 216,000.
Ooh,
Looking
a
like
7.
Tony G now.
Yeah, absolutely. That takes the 8s away. Now, one of only 2 jacks will save Brindley here. Otherwise, Tony G is going to eliminate him.
Roy needs a river.
The river card, it's a 9.
We're down to 5 players. Roy the boy there out in 6th.
Thanks.
Boy, he looked like he was going so well, Kenna. And then
He really was. He was playing a cautious game, and he just ran into the Rockets.
Roy the boy Brindley struggling with his confidence, struggling with his form and struggling with his game. This isn't the time to face Tony G, not when he's got pocket rockets. He's with Jesse and Kenna now.
Well, down to 5 now, and Ken and I here with Roy the boy Brindley. Roy, it seemed to all be going according to plan, and then what happened?
You know, to say I'm playing badly would be economical with the truth right now. You know, the ultimate decision was I was kind of choosing for the price and the value. To run into aces on the big blind's a bit unfortunate, but I just never called the raise pre-flop, and then I've hit a bit of it. And by the time he's got the final bet in, you know, I've got 50,000 chips left. I'm 3-1 against if I call. I'm hoping he's on a flush draw with an overcard, so I'm even money. And I was, you know, it's Tony G.
Right,
you know,
right.
he have any 2 cards in his hand. So I think I chose to put him on a flush draw or a couple of overcards more so than... but I was also aware that he knew I was committed. So then I'm thinking, well, okay, maybe I'm drawing to 5 outs here, but 20% chance. I kind of talked myself into calling. I'm starting to realise these things that quite often you can't afford to lay cards down, lay hands down. Sometimes you need to get lucky. And the worst case scenario was he had me dominated, which he did, and I had to get lucky, and I didn't. But all in all, I don't think I'm playing very well.
Best of luck, Roy. Always a pleasure to watch you play. But they're down to 5 now on that feature table. Who's it going to be? Tony G, maybe?
No one to play with? There's always PartyPoker.com.
Welcome back to the PartyPoker.com World Open, a chance for you at home to live out your millionaire fantasies in our competition. Get ready to play cards with the glamorous and the seriously loaded in Europe's gambling capital, Monaco, in our competition. We're giving you the chance to rub shoulders with the rich and famous in the gorgeous Monaco, courtesy of PartyPoker.com. You can win flights, accommodation and £500 spending money for 2 people to enjoy themselves in the ultimate millionaire's playground. All you have to do to be in amongst the Ferraris, yachts and casinos of Southern Europe's finest Playboy location is answer the following question. A pair of kings can also be known as A. Cowboys, B. Indians, or C. Sheriffs. To enter, go to www.5.tv/poker and answer the question. Entrants must be over 18 and the competition closes at midnight on the 12th of September. You can find out more on all things poker by logging onto our website www.5.tv/poker. There's everything you need to know on there about poker, including how to play and what beats what. You can also watch video tutorials and interviews with top players, get all the info on the World Open, and of course there's our competition. Click on Win to enter.
They found that obviously
Tony G, a dangerous player. Tony G with chips lethal. Kenna, how do the other players have to change their game now to react to Tony G's lead?
Well, they can't bow down to what's certainly going to become a tyranny. You know, with Tony G in the chip lead, this is where he's most comfortable, and now he picks up the hands to boot.
And Barry Hearn, quick call, drawing a line in the sand, but
Right.
Ace-9 usually pretty good in that head-up situation, but Hearn a bit unlucky here, Kenna.
Very unlucky. You know, I just said you had to take a stand, and Barry Hearn does it. Just unfortunate to walk into a bigger kicker here.
So immediately back, and Barry Hearn now all in. This pot's 124,000, but Hearn needing a 9.
A 9 or a lot of big cards to hope for a split. But now Tony G even has the flush draw. Wow.
Yeah.
The odds are getting slimmer for Barry Hearn.
A club would end it.
Oh, it's a 9! Oh my goodness.
No ace,
Now,
no 10.
now it is Tony G on the short end. How quickly fortune